On the count of three. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Good enough.
That works for me, man.
All right. So, yeah, I'm drinking this beer called something Hawaiian sour. It has like a real name, but I just know it is Hawaiian sour.
You mentioned beer. I didn't even grab a beer. I'll be right back. You tell the audience what... Oh, by the way, I'm Matt, and this is...
I'm Daniel.
All right. We didn't do that last episode either.
No introducing.
No introducing.
This is our podcast, One Thing a Week. Today we're going to be talking about movies, Oscar buzz, our favorite movies of 2016, stuff like that. But before we get into that, while Matt grabs a beer, I'm going to be doing a little beer tasting. Right now I'm drinking a Colorado brewed Hawaiian sour beer. It's basically just a sour, I think wheat beers, maybe Pilsner or something like that. It's really tart. Probably only have 2 of these before I'm done with it, but it's pretty good.
Sorry, beer is important.
What are you drinking today, Matt?
I got an Evil Twin Brewing Wet Dream.
Ooh, love the name.
It's a brown ale brewed with coffee.
Damn. Evil Twin Brewing Wet Dream. That could be my beer name if I started a brewing company.
Be fuck badass.
Okay. So, I want to start this podcast off with let's not get into the bangers right now. Let's talk about what's an average movie you've seen in 2016?
Average movie.
Not even below average, just
the problem is
average.
The problem with movies is that I don't ever remember the average ones. I remember if they're real shit or really good.
You know, me too. Now that you bring
and
that
so
up,
like I really don't
I'm
know
having
what
a
was
hard time.
average. Like I saw some stinkers and I saw some. Actually, I'll say something controversial. I thought Rogue One was completely average.
Wow.
I know. People love the shit out of that movie.
That is controversial. But... Okay, we got a podcast right now. Why the fuck do you think that is average? I literally just put my list down because I was like, pause. Let's talk.
Okay. I walked away from that movie going, that wasn't what I wanted to see. And I knew exactly what I was going into. I knew the story, like the general story, the general basis of the movie. I'm okay with all of that. I don't know. I just and there were parts of the movie that I really, really liked. And there were parts of the movie I really, really didn't. And I think that's my biggest problem.
What did you want to see? Can you answer that specifically? What did you want?
I don't know. I just when I was so hyped for episode 7, and it fucking brought it, and it fucking brought it hard, and it brought exactly what I wanted Star Wars to be. You know?
I have something controversial to say.
Uh-huh.
Upon reflection, Star Wars 7 as a screenplay, as a written movie, how the story goes,
but
was not that
good. A screenplay is not the same as the movie, though.
Listen, I love the characters so much. Rey is like my new Jedi hero. Fucking Poe and... who is it? Poe and Finn?
Yeah.
They're fucking gonna be a dynamic duo.
They're bros, man.
Yeah, they're fucking more than bros, is the theory.
I'm okay with that.
Me too. I love BB-8 was like the coolest droid to introduce.
Yeah, like they nailed the new droid.
I don't know if you're a fan of South Park or not, but in this season they brought up a very good point. And I'll just quote it real quick. Star Wars 7 was nothing more than a Happy Days reunion special.
All right.
And they said that, don't get me wrong, Star Wars 7 was fun. It was so Star Wars, it was nuts. Kylo Ren was like
I think that's why I didn't like Rogue One as much, is because it wasn't a fun movie. That movie was a fucking bummer. That movie was a fucking bummer from the opening to close, dude.
You know what Rogue One was? Rogue One.
If you say real, I'm gonna hit you.
No. Rogue One was what Halo Reach was to Halo. Rogue One,
dude,
was
that
Star
was
Wars.
too much of a resemblance. Honestly, it was the shot of the planet with the fucking ship going into the like it was like the same thing. It's like the same shit, and I was like, what the fuck?
I kid you not. I walked in that movie wanting it to be the same thing. I was like, in order for this movie to be good, spoiler alert, all of these motherfuckers have to die.
And I'm okay with that. I liked that part. I liked that they died. Like, I liked most things about the movie. There's some technical aspects. My biggest thing is that it felt like a fan movie.
No, I don't think so. I think Star Wars 7 felt way more like a fan movie.
I don't know. And as a whole, I get it. I get where you're coming from as a whole. But in the little things in Rogue One really threw me out of it. Like, every single time they're like, they brought in like, oh, there's a nod. Do you know that character?
Right.
How about that character?
Right.
What about that character?
That was a little cheesy.
And every single time. And then Grand Moff Tarkin would have been fine on the CGI. The CGI pissed me off. We won't get into it. But
okay.
And it would have been fine if it was just one scene. I would have completely accepted that. But he was a significant character that is in multiple scenes like that, and I think that's unacceptable.
I have to say something about the CGI. I know you said we're not going to get into it, but from what I heard from your roommates and mine conversation when we were at the bar on Christmas Eve, we had two completely different experiences with the CGI. I saw it in like, XD digital.
You saw it in like
3D.
the super 3D or whatever.
And dude, I saw the hairs on his cheek and shit, and
it was
literally I knew because I know the characters, but like people like Kevin and Caleb who don't know the Star Wars characters so well, literally thought that dude was not CGI. I had to tell them he was CGI, and I had to tell them it's the same fucking dude.
Then our friends are
Star Wars.
Fucking idiots, because god damn it.
I'm telling you, I think it looked better on our screen, man.
And that may be, but it also like it's too like it was real, but it's the uncanny valley. Like when you're watching, like when if you've watched the newest Final Fantasy movie that came out with the game, like they look so real, but there's just something off about them. And it's not that they're kind of a little anime based, but it's that there's something, it looks real, but it's just not.
I get you. And honestly, I'll probably rewatch the movie at home, and I'll probably be like, fuck, CGI is fuck. And I hate that. And we could get into this in a little bit, but that's the problem I had with Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. I don't know if you watched that movie.
That it was just you got Uncanny Valley on that?
Oh yeah, I like to compare.
I thought the beasts. I thought the beasts and stuff were like far, like they were stylized enough to where I didn't really get that.
I just felt like I was jumping into a cartoon. Like it should have been a Disney animated movie, and that's fine if it was, but it's not.
Right.
Harry Potter is usually like dark, and the CGI is relatively subtle, and this movie was like a CGI cum fest, dude. It really was. When he goes into his briefcase, which I understand that has to be 100% CGI, right. I get that, but the colors were so bright and just woohoo!
I think they kind of wanted that, but yeah, I understand people not liking it, but I personally like the movie.
I liked the movie. I did. I really liked the movie. That's another movie where the characters were just phenomenal, dude.
That was one of those movies that I was like, oh, man, that's pretty good. But as I, like, going into it, I wasn't really expecting much, and then like I was like, oh, that was good, and like pleasantly surprised. And now like thinking back about it, it wasn't as good as I thought it was. Like I'm coming around to it.
If I have a strong opinion on that movie about how bad it sucks or even how good it is, the group I went to see that movie with came out of the movie saying that it was better than any of the original Harry Potter.
And that's just
movies.
not true.
That is no. I agree. That is just not true. So I'm almost like more tempted to talk trash on that movie because
of that. Okay, yeah, and I have a similar situation, and it's actually because of you and Kevin. When I first moved to Denton, and you guys had lived here, you guys wouldn't shut the fuck up about Whataburger. And I like me some Whataburger, but out of spite, because that's the only place you guys ever wanted to eat, I did not fucking go to Whataburger for literally a year.
How the fuck does that happen?
Because you guys just pissed me off so hard talking about the fucking Whataburger. And I was like, I get it. I like Whataburger, but you guys are too much.
Bro, when I came back home for Christmas, I literally had it 2 times in a row, which doesn't seem like that much, but I was only there for 4 days and I was having Christmas dinner and shit. And I still had it 2 times in a row. The trip before that, I was only there for 2 days. I don't know why the fuck I was there. Oh, Halloween.
Yeah.
Just to visit you guys and party.
Yeah.
I had it 3 times.
I get it. I get it because you can't have it. But, like, I don't know. Like,
for the viewers, I no longer live in Texas. I no longer live in the South. I'm up here in Denver, Colorado, where sadly, there is no Whataburger. There is no Whataburger. There is no restaurants besides Jack in the Box and McDonald's that stay open late at night.
Oh, that fucking blows.
Everywhere. Walmart's closed at 11 here, Matt.
When do you shop?
1 a.m. When do you think?
Yeah, like
3 a.m. Not anymore.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I'll fucking go shop whenever. I'll go shop after this. I don't know.
You know what? You know what we do now? This is what we do now. Me and Hunter have sunk down so low that we use Walmart grocery delivery service now.
That's fucking awesome.
So we sit on our phone, we pick out our snacks, they knock on our door about 12 p.m. and just drop the shit off. It's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool, actually.
Back to the films.
Back to the films. What have you been watching recently?
Recently has been nothing but
and when I say recently, I mean like December 1st to now.
Okay, nothing. I've been watching.
Well, you saw Rogue One. Besides Rogue One,
I saw Rogue One. I saw Harry Potter before that, and I saw Arrival before that.
Let's talk about Arrival.
Let's do it.
Because that's my fucking film of the year. That movie.
I don't blame you.
That movie was fucking tight, and then I loved that movie so much that I went and saw it. And then the next day, I was telling Holiday, my girlfriend, about it, and I was like, "Hey, we should go see this movie." And I went and saw it literally the next night. I love this movie, and then I was still like, got into it so hard that I bought the book of short stories that Arrival comes from and started reading it. That movie is better than the short story that it comes from because that movie can only exist as a movie. It does not work well as a written form. Because visuals in that movie, the keys, I don't want to spoil it because anybody who hasn't seen Arrival needs to watch it. But there's a visual aspect to that movie that can only be done through visuals, and it can't be done through something like a book.
You know, we've been on this topic a lot tonight, but you know what I love on that movie? is they didn't overdo it,
They
dude. The
didn't.
visual
They
effects.
didn't overdo it. It was just enough, and it was stylized enough that everything looked like it should have been there.
Literally, like,
Like,
I was in
I
the
didn't.
same world the whole time.
Yeah.
Like,
Like, it just felt like that. Yeah, that could happen.
exactly. And okay, I went into that movie not really knowing what to expect because the trailers were so vague.
Mm-hmm.
I was expecting like a sci-fi space, like trippy, and it kind of was still.
Yeah.
But in a completely different
in a
way
different
than I thought
way,
it was gonna
like-
be.
Like, a lot of people are comparing it to, like, Interstellar for some reason, and I don't think that should be the case at all, because those are completely two different movies, and I think Arrival's better. But
I think it's completely two different movies. Interstellar is more about space travel and saving our human species. Which
the biggest
those two
thing, though,
kinda
is
tie
that
hand
people
in
are
hand.
and I think the biggest comparison is I see Arrival and Contact get a lot of comparisons, but I also saw the same exact thing. People were comparing Contact to Interstellar.
Right.
And so those movies are like three movies that kind of people associate with each other almost and take inspiration from. And I think that's obvious. They probably take inspiration from each other, or
Right.
one takes inspiration after another. I don't know, but that movie blew my fucking mind.
Arrival answered a question that has been asked very subtly in sci-fis before, but they made that question into a major plot line, which is how do we make first contact? How do we realistically make first contact?
And it's not even that. One of the other biggest reasons that I really like it was that it was, I don't know how to say it. It was just hard sci-fi. Like, it wasn't like action movie, like throw it in your face sci-fi. It was like, this is a deep system of like something I could like, yeah, that seems real to me. That seems real.
Yeah.
You're giving me a scientific premise, but it is fiction ultimately.
Yeah.
And that's it,
I
because
agree.
it felt real and grounded. Whereas
that's a good
because and
science
you
fiction
can't
movie.
and you don't find that in movies. You get a lot of science fantasy in movies. Star Wars is even a science fantasy, you know.
Star Wars is majorly a science fantasy,
And that's okay.
Inter-
But I almost get the same situation. Like, Interstellar was just not real enough. It was not like, it wasn't grounded as much as something like Arrival was. And you don't get a lot
Yeah.
of that in movies. Period. You get a lot of it. You can find it in books, but it's hard to find in books still. But that's the only medium they can ever find it. And this is one of the great times somebody's ever successfully done that in a movie.
Did you see The Martian?
I loved The Martian.
I was about to say that's a good comparison, if any, because both those movies, although obviously Arrival was more science fantasy than The Martian was, but that's okay. I mean, it was still as far as like speech goes and stuff like that, and like how to talk to somebody who speaks a completely different language than you
Yeah.
do. I think Arrival
And it
really hit
shows
the nail
how
on the
like
head.
humans, like, because it showed like how different types of humans were reacting to them too, because he has like
Right.
every single country is dealing with it differently, and like, oh, it's so interesting, and like the psychology behind it, really, like, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Anybody who hasn't seen
Great.
Arrival really needs to see Arrival.
Yeah, I'm gonna give that a must see as well. Now, let's kind of change directions a little bit. This is a kind of indie film, so it was not widely seen in theaters or anything. It didn't make a shit ton of money. It didn't sell out theaters and stuff.
Mhm.
But there's two indie movies I want to discuss, and you might have seen one, you might have seen both, and you might have seen none. But here we go. I want to start off with Mr. Fantastic with Viggo Mortensen.
I've heard about this movie.
Let me drop the premise of this movie. Real
Okay.
quick. I'm not gonna give the whole story, just what it's about.
Yeah, because I don't really know what it's about.
You got Viggo Mortensen, right? Man of all mans. He has like 6 kids. I don't know. I'm not gonna get into numbers. 6 kids in the wood, and they live in the woods, self-sustained, literally take care of themselves, and he teaches them everything. He teaches them how to hunt. He teaches them how to survive. They have lessons every night, like school lessons, and they all have to read their own. He gives everyone like reading studies and shit to do, and all of his kids are like genius. And their mom commits suicide. It's not a spoiler. That's how the movie starts off. The mom commits suicide. She's dealing with depression and shit. And they were like a team. They thought of this way of living together. They went out to the woods together. The mom was just this was almost like a way for them to escape because she was having a bunch of mental issues.
Mm-hmm.
Kills herself. The kids have to deal with that. Viggo Mortensen has to deal with raising these kids on their own. Then
And losing his wife.
And losing his wife. And that's just how the movie starts off. That's not even the main plot line. The main plot line is they go back into the real world because her parents are having like a Christian funeral for her. Mm-hmm. They have to attend the funeral, which they are not invited to. Because her parents really resent him, and like they're really rich and just like don't believe in the shit that they're doing. And it's really cool at first. You're like, wow, Viggo Mortensen, like this is such a cool way to raise somebody. Because they like kind of glorify it, but at the same time, they don't. Like what's crazy about the movie is all the questions you ask. Like, wait, but wouldn't they, grow up really weird, and wouldn't they miss out on a lot of good things that society has to offer? And wouldn't it be hard for them to make contact with anybody?
Yeah, because it's almost like they're forced. It's like you might almost be forcing it on a kid or something.
And Matt, they literally answer all those questions in the movie.
See, I would. Yeah, you sold me. I'm down to see it.
Yeah, it's great, man. That's a 2016 must see for me.
And he got nominated for Best Actor for a Golden Globe.
Yeah, I wouldn't surprise me, man.
I think
he really came through that movie, man. He showed a lot of emotion, a lot of raw emotion, and I think that movie hit home with him because that's like the type of character he wants to be. Because he actually, when he was preparing for the role for Aragorn and Lord of the Rings and stuff, he actually secluded himself in the woods and got all fucking mountain man and shit like that. And I think he really put his all into this role, and it's pretty great, man.
He's one of those actors that when he does something, he does it right. Like like you can tell that he's very evenly paced almost, that to where he just kind of eases into the role. He doesn't rush things.
That's a very perfect way to describe his acting style.
Because he's in, not only Aragorn, he's in The Road.
Oh my god!
God, that movie is just like a fucking. I couldn't finish the book. It was too much of a fucking bummer. But
saddest movie of all time.
Yeah, and but he also did he's the main narrator for The Little Prince of the audiobook that I have.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. So he's the narrator for The Little Prince, which is one of my favorite books of all time,
Love that book.
And
have you seen that movie?
Oh yeah, dude. That was a movie that came out this year.
Great animated
Fucking
movie, dude.
awesome. Fucking awesome. And it's not getting any nods.
Nope.
It's not getting any attention.
They didn't even release it in theaters in America.
See, and that's probably why it didn't get any nods, because it wasn't. I guess maybe it wasn't trying because it had the Netflix deal.
No. They got the Netflix deal. They didn't choose to not release in America. They weren't hitting in that.
No. But you have, in order to be able to be nominated for stuff, you have to be shown in theaters in LA for at least 2 weeks or something.
Right. Which they probably were. I don't know if they were though.
I have no idea. They might have been
nominated. But yeah, they just kind of released straight to Netflix.
I mean, and that's fine. I love me some Netflix movies and some Netflix shows. Don't get me wrong. I love that
Right.
stuff. I mean, Amazon produced the Manchester by the Sea this year. I haven't seen that yet,
It's on the list of.
but it is like the Oscar. Apparently, like this is the one that's supposed to win the Oscar this year.
I haven't seen it. You
I
know,
haven't seen it either.
the problem with the Oscar movies this year, which isn't a problem according to the Academy, but I like fun Oscar nominated movies. Do you know what I mean?
No, Oscars tend to be a bummer.
They do, and that's cool. And I watch the bummer movies, and I watch the good stories and shit, like 12 Years a Slave and shit like that. That are just
Yeah,
really
I
solid
like. I
stories.
didn't have like, but I'll never watch that movie again. Like, I'm glad I saw
Neither
it, but
will
I'll
I.
never watch that movie again because that's not a fun movie to watch. That sucks.
Exactly.
It sucks.
I like, Tarantino movies that are nominated.
Yeah.
I like Scorsese movies that
Hell
are
yeah,
nominated.
because Scorsese, even if he does make like a sad movie, it's great. It's fucking
Yes.
great.
Yes. Who's the dude who did Birdman?
Alfonso
And,
de Cuarón or something like that.
Yeah, did The Revenant last year.
Yeah,
His movies are fun. I mean, The Revenant drug on a little long, but it was still fun.
it was fucking real. Like, I saw it multiple times. Birdman was a good movie. But yeah, like
There's not a lot of fun Oscar movies this year. You know what I
no,
mean?
there's not, and that tends to happen. That really does.
It does. It does. Because when I go back and I look through the years, like, what, I should watch a new movie. I'm going to go look at the Oscar nominated movies for 2011 or something like that. When I'll go through the years, and there's some years where I'm like, I don't know any of these fucking movies. Not one of them.
You know what movie is fun and it has been getting some Oscar nods and like looks?
What?
La La Land.
I know. Dude, that movie is very Oscar hyped right now. It's
Have you
all
seen it?
over the place. No.
I saw it.
You saw it.
That movie is my number 2 movie of the year. And I
Really?
went in with the lowest expectations. Because, okay, strap in. This is what happened. So we went to go see this movie. We ended up, me and Holiday both got AMC gift cards for Christmas this year. But the
Okay.
closest AMC is like out in like Grapevine. But Grapevine was like one of the only theaters in our area that was playing La La Land. We were like, oh yeah, we want to go see that movie. And it was more Holiday than me because it's a musical. I'm not a huge musical guy. I like some, but not all. So, I was kind of iffy on the movie. But, so we go in, and it is... We go in, we're like the only 2 people in the theater, because we got there a little bit early, and then it's just groups of girls, and I'm like, this is going to be a chick flick that I'm not going to like it's going to be real shitty.
Right.
I watched the wrong movie, fuck me.
Right.
And then the trailers came on. And Daniel, I've never seen a group of shittier trailers in my life.
And then you just
In my
like,
life,
here we go.
it was the worst. There's literally one called "The Importance of Dogs" or something, and it was about a fucking dog who was being
The
reincarnated.
Importance of a Dog.
Yeah. It was about a dog who got reincarnated every single time he dies into a different dog, and why he's important to all these people's lives and how he made them it looks like the
God.
worst piece of shit in my life. And all of the fucking everything had that same vibe, and I was like, fuck. and
Oh God.
and I was like, fuck me. And then Daniel, the movie comes on. And the first scene is fucking bad. It's so bad. And I was like, fuck, I walked into the wrong movie. Like, I sighed. Holiday looked at me and she was like, oh, scratching her head. She's like, I don't know what I'm going to do about this. Like, I feel sorry for Matt right now. And then something clicked. Like, second scene in the movie, something clicked. And I was just like, okay, I get it. And then the movie was fucking gold.
I need to see that movie. I've been told by multiple people to see that movie. Just like you, I had no interest. I was like, this looks like... I saw like a dumb little gif on it, And there's a new movie coming out. It's let me see. It's called Moonlight.
Moonlight. Yeah. That's another Oscar. I got nominated for a Golden Globe.
Yeah, and it's like it says right here, a young black man from childhood to adulthood as he struggles to find his place in the world while growing up in a rough neighborhood of Miami. And it was like 2016, and it showed like a trailer from that, and it's like black man tries to find himself and all this stuff. Then it shows a gif of La La Land. It's like white people can fly. And I was like, this movie looks shitty.
But to be fair, Moonlight looks like I'm sure it's great. I have no idea what it's about because I don't know. Like, it's just one of those movies that kind of came out of nowhere. Same with Lion that has Dev Patel in it, and I was like, oh, Dev Patel. I really like Dev Patel, and I don't remember the actress that's in it, but I was like, oh, they're both great. I don't know, and then I watched the trailer, and I still don't know what the fucking movie's about, but apparently that movie's fucking fantastic.
Yeah, dude, we need to watch more Oscar buzz movies because
this is the time of year to do it.
Me Before You. I don't know.
I don't know what that one is.
Silence.
I do want to see that. That's Scorsese's new movie.
Yeah. Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's the one with. It's got Andrew
Scorsese.
No, not Andrew Garfield.
It does.
Yeah,
it
Andrew
does.
Garfield.
Yeah.
Andrew Garfield's in 2 fucking Oscar bait movies.
He's in the.
He was in
fucking,
Hacksaw Ridge too.
That movie looked kind of cheesy to me.
I've heard nothing but good things, and the only reason that I have it was hating on anything was that I'm not a huge Mel Gibson fan. He's the director.
He would be the director. The movie actually looked alright.
It looks good, but
I just, as I grow older, I get more and more reluctant to get pumped on like war movies.
Same, but this one, I don't know. Have you seen the one that's coming out that's Christopher Nolan's new movie?
Expand on that.
Okay, so Christopher Nolan has a new movie coming out, and it's a war movie. It's about like this English town, and I can't remember the name of it, but it's this English town that gets basically like attacked during World War II, and it's based on a true story. And like basically the entire city gets fucking bombed, and they're like just constantly, and they're having to like evacuate the people out of and this is like based on a true story. They're evacuating this town that's on the side, like that's on the coast of this England. It looks really interesting for some reason. That to me looks super interesting, but not so much Hacksaw Ridge. But I've heard nothing but good things.
Okay, I'm sorry. I have to name a movie real quick.
Okay.
I'm going through a list of top 100 movies of 2016.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what is very high on the list, which I didn't even know existed?
What?
Uno, the movie.
Oh.
Like, this has to be a fucking
No.
joke.
Do you not know about this?
No.
Uno the movie is made by Rooster Teeth.
Is it really?
Uno the movie is a let's play of them playing Uno, and then it gets stuck in a game. They get stuck in a game in one game of Uno for 2.5 hours. And then they released it, and they just called it Uno the movie because they thought it was funny, and then it blew up, and this is a huge joke.
Dude, on IMDb, I shit you not. Oh my god, here it is. Jeff Ramsey, Gavin Free, Ryan Haywood.
Yeah, it's
Jeremy.
the Achievement Hunter guys.
Listen to this shit, dude. I shit you not. 9.9 out of 10 on IMDb.
Mm-hmm. People are fucking pissed because it's the
Number
highest
20.
It's the highest rated comedy this year. Like it beat out like Deadpool and shit.
It's number 20 on a list of top 100. Okay, moving on. I gotta watch that. Moving on.
It's fucking hilarious.
I have a number one movie of the year.
Okay.
that I have not named yet. Let's wait for that.
I think I know
wanna
what I think you know what you're talking about. But
Okay.
we'll wait.
You might not though. You might not, but maybe you do.
I think I do.
Have you seen? This is not my number one movie, but I really like this movie. Have you seen Swiss Army Man?
No.
Daniel Radcliffe,
And Paul Dano?
Paul Dano.
That movie looked so fucking weird, but it looked great.
That movie is weirder than it looks. I will say that.
Hell yeah.
With full confidence.
Hell yeah.
I'll just say that. Okay, think of the movie. Okay, think of the term Swiss Army Man. Okay?
Yeah.
There's nothing like he doesn't have knives that pop out of him and shit like that. But he still very much so is a Swiss Army Man. But he's a man, a dead body. So you think, how do you make a man into a Swiss Army Man? I'll just give you a few examples. He can soar through the water
Yes.
by using his ass and him farting as a fucking jet propeller, forcing him through the water, the waves, and shit like that.
So this movie's
And that-
about like Paul Dano being schizophrenic, right?
Yeah, actually, that's kind of like the whole
That's
big
real,
twist
right?
of the movie. Yeah, no, that's how the movie ends. Kind of, you realize, like, you just think it's like all fun and really, and then they tie it into like, no, this motherfucker's actually crazy. But then at the end, spoiler, who cares? It's like, but is he crazy? And they do like this weird thing where like they're all watching Daniel Radcliffe sail away into the sea, farting his way into the sunset. And I don't
know what would be stranger, if that was just real and that was just like an anomaly that he came across, or if that he's just schizophrenic and thought about this whole thing.
Well, I don't want to spoil too much of the movie for you because the ending is actually kind of a shocker, I will say. Okay. And it kind of makes you look at reality in a very weird way. And that's the kind of the goal of the movie. Like, he's saying like all these things, like Daniel Radcliffe is like, he's basically a human learning what life is for the first time ever. He's dead and he can't remember what it's like to be alive. So he's slowly learning what it's like to be alive, and he's teaching him like how the world works and stuff like that. And he like doesn't understand why you can't fart in front of people and stuff like that. And like I said, it all starts goofy, but then they take like a really deep, like, I don't know, like twist to it. Like they make you think like, but is this really that goofy? Like, why do you feel goofy for doing something like this? And it's not just about fart and shit like that. It's about like everything. Like, why can't you go up and tell a girl you like her? Or why can't you, say what's the first thing that comes to your mind? Why do you have to like suppress the things that you think? And why do you have to be polite to people and stuff like that?
That seems super interesting.
It is very interesting. And yeah, and it's also very weird. Like, his boner is a compass, and like, but the cool thing about that movie is the soundtrack. Like, they make the soundtrack so seamless into the movie and almost tie it into the dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the soundtrack is literally all like vocal, like, what's that term of like people who like sing and like vocalize?
Like jazz, like not jazz.
You know what I know. Like the group, but it's just like he'll be sitting there, and they'll be like
Free
talking, and then he'll just be like bum 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 bum, and then it was like, he's just like doing
almost
this
like
bum bum
acapella
bum thing. Yeah, acapella. Yeah, and then it like phases in and gets super like produced, and then it's just like turns into this whole song of voices, and it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. You have to check that movie out, man.
I will.
As goofy as it is, some people they either fucking love it or you hate it. You either get it or you don't. Like, you just have to. It's a must see though. Whether you hate it or love it, you're gonna be entertained. I'll put it that way.
Fair enough.
Let's talk about my favorite movie of the year, because
can I guess?
It's on my mind. Yeah.
Is it
Go ahead and
Kubo
guess.
and the Two Strings?
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
You got it. How did you know?
Dude, because that movie's fucking dope.
You saw it.
Oh, yeah.
I went into that movie not expecting much, you know, just expecting another classic stop motion cartoon movie.
I want to watch it again.
You wouldn't watch it?
No,
again?
I want to watch it again.
Oh,
because
I've been wanting to.
I like here's my thing. Like, the animation's so good that I was almost distracted by it in certain parts.
Same.
So I feel like I want to watch it again because I want to see it more. But I also want to watch it again. Like, I want to watch it one more time to, like, really appreciate how fucking beautiful that movie is. But I also want to watch it again after that. Like, I want to watch it a third time. And then I'll think I'll be good, finally, so I can appreciate how good of a story it told, too. Because, and somebody else put it better than I thought about it. It's almost like the perfect video game movie.
Yeah, I think that's probably why I liked it so much.
Because we're used to these video game storylines where it's like, okay, like it feels like you have to collect these items and then you have to face a boss, and like it did something that video game movies can't do, and it was be good.
Right.
And so they told this awesome video game story while also being fucking awesome.
Right. Dude, something that jumped out on me in that movie too is the dialogue, the lines of the movie, just everything was so good. Like, so many just, oh, that was such a solid line. Like, ooh, how does the movie start off? Like, there's a line that he says throughout the whole movie, like, oh,
I couldn't tell you the single line, but
it just got me like butterflies every time. I was like, damn,
dude.
this is intense.
I know, like, and like they didn't need, and the thing is, that movie would have been really good without the fucking crazy cast that it had.
Mm-hmm.
And it that just added to it. Like, it was just like everything, like nothing was bad. They didn't need a good cast.
And I was afraid Matthew McConaughey was going to be cheesy.
I
and, like,
thought the same thing going into it, but he was super not McConaughey-y.
He was lovable. He was like a perfect voice actor for that role. I feel I was so shocked on how well it worked out.
Yeah, like, I'm glad like it worked out as well as it did.
I could have swore from the bottom of my heart that half those scenes were full CGI.
Right?
It wasn't until it didn't really fully fucking hit me until the very
end with the credits.
Yeah,
dude, those are the craziest
like,
credits in the world. Because first of all, like, the behind the scenes shit is insane. It's fucking
literally
it's
insane.
Fucking stupid.
Literally insane.
It's fucking stupid how good it looks. And then it when that's over and it kind of chills out, you still have like this awesome art style that I could see becoming into like a cartoon or something.
Yep.
And
me too.
It was awesome. And now I want that. I would watch the shit out of that.
Yeah, dude. The story was good. The animation was good. Everything about that movie was good. And it got a high rating, and it made a lot of money, and it didn't have a lot of hype, that's one of those movies that it succeeded on its own terms. Like,
exactly.
It was so good
exactly.
that it couldn't be ignored.
They didn't have to cut corners for that movie to be successful.
Right.
I think it could have been more successful, but I mean, and I think it deserves more success.
Well, it didn't get a lot of hype. Like, it had like no trailers going on. Like, maybe on Nickelodeon or something. I don't know, but
no, dude. The most that I saw billboards for it. Like, I don't ever see billboards for movies, and that was one of the reasons that I was like almost worried about the movie, that the movie was going to be bad, because like, oh, they have billboards for movies. What the hell?
Right. I think whoever put that movie out was just like, this is like, people need to see this, and maybe, yeah, I don't know, but it did, when it first came out, it wasn't doing so good. That's my main point.
Yeah.
Because I remember looking at like the money it was making and shit like that, and it wasn't making any money. I'm talking like around the $1 million range, which, you know,
yeah, for a movie that costs that much money to make.
Right, and then it was out for like a week, And this usually doesn't happen. But like by the end of the second week or something, it was like taking off.
Mm-hmm.
It was seriously going up and up
Yep.
and up. I was watching the money just build up. It turned into like a $70 million week and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
and it was making the money it deserved finally. And I was worried at first, like, oh no, is this movie like gonna, you know, go down and flop when it's so good? And it didn't.
And I
for
think,
good reason.
and the only thing I think that'll win the animation Oscar, and if it doesn't, it should.
You know why it might not?
Your Name from Japan, because that's the movie I was going to bring up.
Say it.
Okay, it's called Your Name.
Oh,
It's an anime.
Oh, I'm so glad you brought that up.
Because
Oh
that
my
movie
God,
has
I
been
didn't even think about that.
that movie's been
Dude, that
getting
movie's
crazy
breaking records.
shit. It's broken like every single fucking movie record in Japan right now. Like the only thing that he's not beating is like Miyazaki and Akira.
I know, and dude, I haven't seen that movie. I follow Funimation on Facebook.
Yeah.
And they post shit about it
Because they
all
finally got the
the
rights to
time.
it, and so they're gonna be
Right.
they're the people that are doing the voice acting for it
I
for
see.
English.
Man, we got to see that movie because
Well, and it's but the problem is they had to do a short release to get it.
That's what it
eligible.
was in LA.
It was in
Yeah,
LA specifically.
Yeah, you're right. That might do it too, but who knows? Foreign animated movies don't usually make it to unless you're fucking Hayao Miyazaki and
This is the
signed by
thing.
Disney.
Every single person that's seen this movie, and he also did another movie. I can't remember which one it was. But it was like pretty successful. People are calling this guy the next Miyazaki, and he's the one that's saying, "Hey, don't call me the next Miyazaki. That's too much pressure."
Wow. Dude, you're right about that one though. I wouldn't be surprised if that came in just because of what people are saying about that movie.
Yeah, like I mean, I think it'll be a fucking blow away hit if it hits the States. If it's as good as people saying, or it is, like, I don't know. That movie's gonna do crazy things.
We have to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Have to see it to believe it.
Yeah, I've
What
been
I
wanting
would-
to see it for months now, but like it's just not available yet.
You can't even pirate it because it's still in theaters technically.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't pirate it for those.
Yeah,
who are
no, we
listening.
go through legal media sources.
Yeah. What I was gonna bring up is something you're not thinking about, but you know it very well. Is Disney's Moana.
I was
Canonic-
actually about to mention that. I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it either, but it's hard to believe that Disney isn't gonna take home the Academy Award. It's just hard to believe.
This is like one of the first times that I'm like, you know what? I hope Disney doesn't get it.
Same. I hope
Because
I don't,
like most of the time I'm like, yeah, absolutely Pixar or whatever the hell is out
right.
should get this. Like that's the one that makes sense.
No,
But
not this year.
this year. They've got two fucking hardy contenders.
Who did Kubo?
The same people that did Box Trolls.
No fucking way.
Yeah.
That movie was not the greatest.
I know. And like they did another movie and I can't remember what it was, but it was about as good as Box Trolls was, which was fine.
Right.
know?
It's enough, I guess. Yeah. We'll see, man. I love the Oscar season. I love not knowing who's gonna win.
No, dude, I mean, I love being wrong. Like, I want every movie to come out to be fucking great. Like, I never
Right.
go into a movie wanting it to be bad. I always want it to be good. But I'm always like, that's why I'm disappointed and don't like movies. Is because I want something to be awesome, and when it doesn't meet my expectations, I get upset.
Right. It's just kind of hard this year to even have that talk about who's gonna win. For one, we haven't seen half the goddamn movies. For two, it's just like I said earlier, like my favorite movies of the year were the Harry Potter and Rogue One type of movies, were the indie films and stuff like that aren't gonna get as much buzz as these movies coming out. And granted, I haven't seen most of these movies, and granted, La La Land might be fucking sick, and fucking all these other ones that I haven't seen, titles I can't remember. Let's see, like Jackie with
Oh, that
Natalie
actually
Portman.
that looks good.
It does look good.
And here's my okay. Let's take a step back because
Okay.
I've been in pretty much Oscar mode for a while now. Like I've been digging on the serious dramas, and like La La Land was like a break from that, but it was still like like it was a good movie. Like it wasn't like an action movie or like a comedy, like a straight up comedy or just straight up. It was like it was more It was still more serious in tone than like a comedy or an action movie would be. And I think that's one of the reasons I've had that I didn't like Rogue One as much as I wanted to, was I just haven't been digging action movies. I'm like almost just tired of them at this point. And like I never was in the mood to go see Doctor Strange, even though I've seen every single Marvel movie in theaters, you know? And I just wasn't in the mood for it. Like I was like, oh, we could go see this, or we could just stay home.
Right. I wasn't in the mood for Doctor Strange either, though I've heard nothing but great things about that movie. But you know me, I hate superhero movies. They're fun. They're fun the first time. I'll never fucking watch them again. I know that for sure. I'm not going to see the new Spider-Man. I know that for sure.
The new Spider-Man, I have conflicted.
Is it out?
No.
I've heard it. I've heard it busted already.
No, what are you on about? The one with Tom Holland?
Mm-hmm. Maybe. What am I hearing that busted?
Fantastic Four busted.
No. I heard.
That was the biggest piece of shit I've ever seen.
Oh my god! I watched that. Why did I watch that movie?
I saw it in theaters because I was like, you know what? 9% on Rotten Tomato. There's no way. Turns out there's a way.
Yeah. My thing about it was the first Fantastic Four was such a fucking shit show. How could it get worse? How could it possibly get worse?
And then they made a second one, and it was
Yeah.
worse.
And then I'm like, okay, it's over, it's dead. And they're like, no. And you know, I will admit, I saw that Fantastic Four trailer, and I was like, this looks pretty sick.
I told every single one of you motherfuckers that movie was going to be a piece of shit, and nobody believed me.
I wasn't gonna argue for it, and I don't think I argued that hard against it because I hate superhero movies. So I'm not gonna be like, oh, it's gonna be good. I said it looked good,
Yeah,
and it did. It was a very well made trailer, which sucks nowadays. Trailers are getting so good that you don't know which movies are gonna blow or not. Fantastic Four fucking blew.
I actually saw something. I think it's called. I want to say it's called like the Harrows or the Hallows or something like that. It's got like it's a comedy-ish movie, like indie comedy movie. It's got like John Krasinski, who is Jim from The Office.
Right.
It's got like Charlie Day is in it.
Okay.
Like a bunch of just like really like well-known comedic actors, and I'm like, man, there's a shit ton of people in this movie. I bet this movie's awesome. And then the trailer is such a piece of shit that I'm like, I don't know if this movie's gonna be good or not anymore.
Did you see that one trailer with what's the dude's name? He was in like Filth. He was in.
Michael Fassbender?
Was that Michael Fassbender? No. He's in the movie. What's that goddamn Wanted?
Oh, James McAvoy?
James McAvoy. He's is that him? He's fucking Thomas from
Yeah, that's James McAvoy.
Chronicles of Narnia. Okay, have you seen his new movie that's coming out?
The one where he like kidnaps the girl?
Mm-hmm.
That looks fucking crazy.
That looks like shit. And let me tell you why.
Okay, I'll listen.
He's going through all these fucking Kevin brought it up this way. Kevin, my brother, his role that he's doing as like far as like look how many characters I could play at once is like a classic desperate breakout role. Like I'm gonna show how good of an actor I am. I'm gonna do all these characters. And dude, let me tell you where I lost it. When he does the fucking little kid and he's like, "Hello, Johnny." I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, literally lost my shit. Like, boo! You suck! Like, and then, if the fucking trailer isn't, like, thumbs down enough, I'm like, okay, this movie does look kind of intense. Like, kind of scary, kind of thriller. Then at the end, he starts, like, getting strong and shit, like, pumping up his muscles and shit. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? It looks fucking awful, dude. I guarantee it ain't making over 20% on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm calling it.
Oh,
right
I think
now.
you're fucking wrong. People
Nope.
suck his dick way too much for
Not
that movie
hard,
to get
dude.
20%.
Nope, I saw right through them, dude. The critics are gonna feel the same way I do, and they're gonna tear that shit up, dude. The story makes sense in the fucking trailer. Okay, you know, different personality disorder, whatever the fuck it's multiple personality disorder. That's all good and well. Do you not remember the end of that trailer? He like Hulk, like literally
No,
turns
I
into
don't.
the fucking Hulk. He like turns into the fucking Hulk, like a not green Hulk. Like it doesn't make sense. That's when it lost all traction.
Okay. Maybe this is something that we could try to pull up every single episode. Or every single episode we talk about movies. Because I like shit like this. And I'll look it up whenever we do them more. But there's a movie that was supposed to come out. I like to talk about movies that were supposed to come out and never came out.
Okay.
I got a couple on my mind right now.
I can't think of any. I could think of video games.
I can. There's plenty of video games out there that, but there's one movie that was floating around, and the only reason that anybody like would have ever heard about it is because Leonardo DiCaprio was supposed to play a role. He was supposed to play the main guy. And there's a book written, and it's a true story. It's a biography about this guy named Billy Milligan.
Uh-huh.
And it's called and it's by the guy that wrote Flowers for Algernon, and he decided to write a biography on this real life dude because he thought it was so fucking crazy.
Right.
And it's called The Minds of Billy Milligan, and it's a book, and it was going to be made into a movie. Billy Milligan was the first guy to ever be ever have his case thrown out, or not thrown out, but like found crazy. What is the instead of
Guilty?
he wasn't guilty, but he like was sentenced to a mental hospital
Right. He was like, I know what you're talking about.
for
Oh my
multiple
God.
personality disorder. And he's the first guy that ever happened with.
Like he was declared like mentally insane.
He was
so, like,
he was
didn't get
declared
tried
he was declared that he had multiple personality disorder, and he was able to get off
right.
the charge. This guy had 14
He pleaded insanity. That's the
pleaded
thing.
insanity for multiple personality disorder.
Right.
And so and he got away with it. According to every psychologist that this guy, like, and this is like a real thing that this guy had, he had like 14 distinct personalities.
14.
14. It's not like, it wasn't just like a bipolar thing or like multiple personality thing. And I've known people that have multiple personality disorder, and it's fucking, it is wild. But he ended up but Leonardo DiCaprio was supposed to play like all these like 14 different characters basically, which sounded just sounds like Oscar bait, you know? Like that's obviously like the breakout role that you're talking about.
Right.
But that would have been an interesting story to tell.
It would have been.
And like just you talking about that movie made me think about this because it's a book that I have the book. I've read part of the book and it's fucking nuts.
You know, there's a sitcom called United States of Terror where they tackle that. Have you ever heard of it?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that says it all right there. I think some shit like that can only be done in a sitcom. If you're gonna do multiple personality disorder and it's not like a Jekyll and Hyde type thing, where you're just playing like a fucking shit ton of different characters, don't put that up on the silver screen, man. It needs to be on a fucking sitcom or something because it's goofy as fuck to do some shit like that.
But the thing is, like this guy, like this story, not the one with James McAvoy, fuck him.
Mm-hmm.
But Billy Milligan was like a real dude. And this is something that actually happened. And I think,
that would.
But I think the problem is we've never had somebody truly pull it off well in a movie, and I think that's why that we don't believe in it.
You're probably right. And if anyone could do it, I'd say Leonardo DiCaprio could. Maybe he decided not to do it because he was just like, fuck, that's a lot of pressure. That's a lot of, you know.
I don't know. And it could have been a money deal for all we know, you know.
Yeah. Just didn't make it out of the gates. Yeah, that would have been interesting to see.
Yeah, but
not gonna lie.
I think I'll bring that up in future movie episodes where I talk about like movies or games that didn't get made or something, because that's always interesting to me. It's something that just got lost to the void that we'll never see.
Yeah, that could definitely be an episode. It could be a good episode.
Yeah,
especially if we look some shit up.
Yeah, we'll do some research. You find some stuff because I got a couple things that we could talk about. Whether it be, we could do a video game and movie if we wanted to.
Sounds good. Let's wrap this up.
Yeah, we can do that next episode if you want.
Sure.
Sounds.
Let's end it with going through some. I'm just gonna go through some titles, highlights of 2016 movies.
Okay.
Deadpool.
All right.
I like that movie.
It was fine.
I like that movie. Let me see. Gonna keep on talking. Eddie the Eagle. Ever see it?
I did not see it. Is that good?
Good movie. Me and Hunter played a drinking game to it. So great. Good must see movie. Let's see. You got Kubo. Here's Lion. Here's Hacksaw Ridge. Haven't seen those. There's La La Land. Oh, here's the movie I was talking about with James McAvoy. It's called Split.
That's right.
Apparently it was already out. He's probably trying to get some Oscar buzz, which is not gonna happen.
He's fucked.
Yep. It got a 7.6 on IMDb, but IMDb
That's not
is
good for IMDb. IMDb, I don't trust. Listen, because Passengers has like a 7.8 on IMDb, and apparently that movie fucking blows.
Okay, God, I haven't seen a lot of movies. Warcraft is on here. That movie fucking blew.
I was just talking about that with Joe today, and he was just like, "So I'm watching World of Warcraft right now," and it's like, and he's like, "It sucks," and I was like, "Yeah, I fucking told you guys it was gonna suck. Look at it," and I was like, "You should have looked at the trailer," and he's like, "No, Matt, I don't think you understand. This movie fucking sucks."
No, that movie was fucking awful. Who was the wizard boy actor they got?
Who cares?
He fucking sucked. Suicide Squad?
Fuck that movie.
Boo. God, that movie sucked.
Was Batman v Superman this year?
I don't know.
Either way,
I don't know. It was
that movie.
It was.
That movie was such a fucking piece of shit.
It was. I agree. I agree with you. I agree. But I do not agree that it should have gotten that low of a score on Rotten Tomatoes. That honestly made me question.
What was the score?
Like low 20s%.
I would give it that.
Don't give me. Okay. Me personally, I didn't like it. All right, and I guess Rotten Tomatoes works out that way. Is you just click like or don't like, and it does a percentage that way. But honestly, I didn't think it sucked that bad. There was movies that sucked way worse that got a higher score. is what I'm trying to say. At least the movie had cool CGI. Some movies don't have cool CGI. They just plain suck.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
At least it had Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman was a cool character.
I guess. I don't care. And I don't care about the Wonder Woman movie that's coming out. I think it's going to suck
I don't
too.
either, but shit, it was a little bit good. I just think I question critics at that point because I think it was like a popularity like pissing contest. Like this one guy said it sucked and they're like, "Oh, I'm going to say it sucked too. I'm going to say it sucked too." And like,
yeah, but you know what else sucked this year that we didn't talk about? Fucking X-Men. Fuck that movie.
you know, that's one of those movies I liked at first, and then upon review, upon further reflection, it sucked. And let's just hope that Logan rules, and we'll never talk about
Dude,
that movie
I
again.
fucking hope Logan rules. I hope so.
Dude, that trailer rules. That's all I'll say.
I don't like the trailer.
What? Johnny Cash, dude? That trailer rules.
I don't
dude.
know. It's something about it. I don't
No,
know. I'm
that's
just skeptical.
All right.
I think
right.
just most X-Men movies are shitty.
No, honestly, as far as superhero movie goes, I like the X-Men movies.
I'm gonna say I'll still stand by most X-Men movies are shitty. There are a couple good ones, but there's too many bad ones, and that last one left a bad taste in my mouth.
Last one, yeah, it sucked. I'm not gonna stand up for it. It sucked for sure. I thought the first like timeline one they did was cool, like the first one where like the new characters came out.
First Class. Yeah, I thought First
Yeah.
Class was good. I liked the one where Wolverine went back in time.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
That one, well, the first one
Is
with
that not
James
the same one?
McAvoy.
Oh yeah. Did he do it more than once?
He's been in like 3 movies, dude.
I don't know. Yeah, they hit or miss.
What else we got?
Did you see Finding Dory?
No, I didn't. I wanted to.
Don't. That's my
Ooh.
personal rating on it. It's based. First of all, Dory wasn't a main character for a reason. I'll say that shit right here.
I understand
right
that.
now.
That's why I think that. Here's another controversial topic. I don't think Lego Batman's going to be any good.
I agree.
I don't think Will Arnett can carry a movie.
No, I totally agree. It's gonna be a bunch of fucking one-liners that don't land and silly fucking.
It's not going to be the same as the Lego movie. There's no way.
Nope. The Lego movie was new. It was fresh.
It was fresh.
Unique. This one is gonna be the same shit with Will Arnett as Batman. That's not gonna hit hard. You're so right. Finding Dory. First of all, like I said, Dory's not a main character. Second of all, Nemo and Marlin are in that movie for no fucking reason other than the first fucking, like, they literally hang out and have like side conversations the whole movie. They're not even with Dory the whole movie. They're just like, let's go get her, I guess, and we're gonna get in these, quirky little like whoopsie moments.
Let's have a
and
quirky adventure.
Yeah,
friends.
it sucks for sure. Independence Day, didn't see it, will not see it.
Nope.
I do want to see Imperium, another Daniel Radcliffe movie where he's like undercover Nazi FBI agent.
I forgot that came out this year.
Yeah.
That looked really good.
Did you see the new Jason Bourne movie?
Yeah, I did.
Thoughts?
Did you
I
like
did
it?
not. I didn't see it.
That movie fucking sucked.
All right, good to know. Good to know. Did you see the Legend of Tarzan movie that came out?
No, I didn't.
Disney's newly live-action remake. Apparently, did not hit very hard. Apparently, it sucks. I have not seen it.
I've heard mixed reviews.
I'm just gonna go with it sucks. Did you see BFG, Big Friendly Giant?
No,
which
but Joe saw it and he said it was fucking terrible.
Fuck that movie. I don't want to see that shit. I call it Big Fucking Giant because that's what I think of every time.
I always thought of Doom because it's the big fucking gun.
Yeah. The Shallows. I kind of wanted to see that movie.
Is that the horror movie?
It's a shark movie.
No, then I don't know what you're talking about.
It's like the lady surfs and It's kind of like a 2016 Jaws.
I'm gonna go ahead and pass.
Yeah, it sucks. The Bronx Bowl. Fuck this movie. I'm so tired of boxing movies. You've seen them one,
Dude,
you've seen it all.
I don't. I'm not a boxing movie fan.
Did you see Bloodfather starring Mel Gibson?
I sure fucking didn't.
Neither did I. Did you see the Angry Birds movie?
Did anybody see the fucking Angry Birds movie?
I fucking hope not. That's it. We're out of movies.
We're out of movies.
2016 had some solid titles.
Some
everything in between fucking sucked, which is becoming a yearly trend now.
Yeah, that's always been a yearly trend, though.
I guess so.
Every couple of
Hollywood is
years
just
we have
fucking
good
shitting
movies
out
and-
so much bullshit.
Well, it's like every couple of years we've had some good movies, and we had some pretty good movies this year. But
Dude, 2015 was a fucking good year for movies, man. That's when like Her came out, I think.
no,
right?
that was the year before, I think.
2014.
Mm-hmm. I loved
sure?
Her, though. That was a
Dude,
good
that
movie.
year.
Well, it's
was-
usually every 2 years has really solid releases.
that was actually 2013.
Fuck. We're old.
I know. What the fuck? I remember that movie like it was brand new. Oh, I guess that does make sense. Damn. That was a good year for movies.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's every year we get pretty solid movies, you know? We get some
I
solid
think it's-
hits.
Yeah, for sure. I think every other year in Oscar. I think 2013 didn't like Django Unchained come out that year?
Nah,
and shit?
that was like at least 2012.
I don't think so.
No, because we were still living at in Grand Prairie.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. 2012. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, 2016 was the year of Harry Potter and Star Wars for me.
Yeah. Well, Harry Potter.
You know,
Oh, 16. Fuck. It's 17. Fuck me.
Harry Potter, Fantastic Beasts.
Yeah, I know. I thought I don't know.
Okay, well, in the podcast on this, what movie are you excited to come out 2017?
What movie am I excited about? I don't know. Like I was saying, like I haven't been in the mood for action movies or anything. And I usually don't hear about the really good dramas until the end of the year or until they come out. And so
What about Guardians of the Galaxy 2?
That's a movie.
Yeah,
I'm afraid it's not going to do well, but I've got my best of hopes.
me too. I'm excited for Star Wars.
Star Wars. Obvious Star Wars is the obvious answer.
I don't know if you knew this was coming out. I'm excited for War for the Planet of the Apes.
Fuck those movies. I hate them.
I love the Planet of the
I
Apes
don't know.
movies.
I just can't. I can never got into them.
Here's one we can agree on. Maybe. Power Rangers.
Fuck no.
All right. Fair enough. I'm not gonna fight it too hard. All right. I think that's enough. We don't have to go into all this bullshit.
All right. Well, so next podcast we'll do games and movies that never got a
Come out
release.
yet. Yeah, games and movies that never
Got
got
announced but never got released.
I'm sure there's some movies that I know of. I'm just gonna have to do some
There's
research.
one
Just
in particular that I was really stoked about that I'm excited to talk about, and I'll talk to you about it next week.
Cool. Well, guys, this has been another episode of One Thing a Week. Are we still sticking with that name?
Yeah, one thing a week. You
I
and
like
I
it.
like it. Fuck everybody else.
Yeah, One Thing a Week. And this was One Thing a Week.
Thank you.
Later.
Bye.